is cracked in Montecito, literally and figuratively. And it's not just the plates. Meghan Markle is right in the middle of what might be her most chaotic PR disaster yet. And this one's got all the signs of a meltdown. Failed interviews, backfired brand launches, a magazine betrayal, and even allegations tied to her inner circle. It's like a domino effect, and every time one tile falls, it just exposes more dysfunction. Let's talk about the People magazine cover that really lit the fuse. Meghan has worked so hard to get people on her side. She gave them exclusive interviews, shared personal stories, let them in on product launches, and even allowed access to her kids. In return, she expected loyalty. But this week, People dropped a glossy, glowing tribute to none other than Princess Catherine. The cover headline? A Summer of Strength. The article was like a full-on love letter to Kate's poise, grace, and comeback spirit after her cancer battle. For Meghan, this wasn't just a PR loss. It was a betrayal from her most trusted media ally. Now, while Meghan's out here trying to rebrand herself with overpriced jam jars and soft-focused Instagram interviews, Kate's silence and strength are winning hearts without her even trying. The contrast is brutal. Kate disappears for a while, shows up with a soft smile and dignity, and the world is instantly captivated. Meanwhile, Meghan releases an awkward, overly produced interview that barely gets 88,000 views in 24 hours and gets absolutely hammered in the comment section. Dislikes were double the likes. It wasn't just indifference, it was rejection. But that's not even the worst of it. Meghan's closest Hollywood friend and her daughter Lily's godfather, Tyler Perry, is now facing disturbing sexual assault allegations. Let that sink in. Tyler was more than just a celebrity ally. He was a public pillar of Meghan's post-royal image. He offered her shelter, publicly supported her during her battles with the royal family, and played a big role in Lily's life. But now his reputation is crumbling. Screenshots, text messages, and a growing court case are showing a very different picture of the man who once snubbed the late Queen to play Meghan's White Knight. But if the rumors are true that Meghan is now trying to quietly backpedal out of that Godfather arrangement, well, that's a PR disaster in itself. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, there's Prince Harry, wandering through this storm like a lost soul. His latest appearances have been baffling to say the least. A stiff, robotic speech in German, followed by a painfully dull talk about sustainable tourism. You can practically see the life draining from his face. The passion is gone, the energy is flat, and he looks like a man who's just going through the motions because he has to, not because he wants to. Even his own projects, like Traviest, feel hollow now. He's trying to talk about purpose and sustainability, but you can tell he doesn't believe his own words anymore. What's scary is that this isn't just a PR issue, it's a deeper unraveling. The public isn't just rolling their eyes anymore, they're laughing. Meghan is becoming a punchline, and Harry, he's becoming invisible. Every time they step into the spotlight, it feels more like a slow-motion train wreck and less like a power couple leading a global movement. And this week might have been the biggest hit yet, because everything that could go wrong did. Tyler Perry always wore this image of moral authority like a designer suit. He spoke about faith, about choosing love over tradition, and publicly turned down a royal baptism just to avoid participating in an institution he clearly looked down on. That kind of moral high ground doesn't come cheap. It's an investment, and Meghan bought in heavily. She made him Lily's godfather, let the cameras capture their bond, and he became her shield, her ally, her Hollywood family. But now the facade is cracking fast. Text messages surfaced in court filings this week that suggest a very different Tyler Perry behind closed doors. The kind of messages that, if proven true, don't just dent reputations, they destroy them. These allegations aren't whispers in a tabloid, they are official, and they're ugly. And Meghan, who was once so proud of the connection, is now said to be scrambling. Rumors are swirling that she's looking to sever ties. Some even say she's asking for the godfather status to be annulled. Whether or not that's even possible doesn't really matter. The damage is already done. And it's not just Tyler who's getting the cold shoulder. Insiders are saying Meghan's inner circle is thinning by the day. Her previous bestie, Jessica Molo, got iced out the moment public opinion turned. Now it's Tyler next. Who knows? loyalty doesn't seem to last long in Montecito when scandal starts circling. And that's the part that makes all of this feel more desperate than strategic. It's not just crisis management, it's survival mode. Meanwhile, Catherine is gracefully doing everything right without even trying. After months of silence following her cancer diagnosis, she stepped back into the public eye, not with drama, but with poise. People are rooting for her, not because she's pushing products or filming puff piece interviews, but because she represents something Meghan never quite managed to embody: quiet strength. And that was crystal clear this week when People magazine, of all places, chose to spotlight Catherine's Summer of Strength instead of Meghan's brand relaunch. That headline was a dagger, and it landed deep. But there was also concern beneath the celebration. Kate pulled out of a royal event at the last minute. Despite being expected to ride in the royal carriage alongside King Charles and Queen Camilla, the event was clearly set for her to be the star appearance. The official explanation? A mix-up in the carriage schedule. But everyone knows how carefully choreographed royal appearances are. Nothing gets printed or announced without palace approval, which means this was either a cover-up or a health change the palace didn't want to admit. And that's the uncomfortable truth. As much as people are drawn to Catherine's resilience, there's still a shadow of uncertainty surrounding her health. She's doing her best to return to public life, but this week's cancellation, especially after such a strong showing at Trooping the Color, reminded everyone that she's still very much in recovery. It also exposed a continued weakness in Kensington Palace's communications. The public isn't asking for full medical records, but they do expect honesty. When Catherine didn't appear, and the palace quickly scrambled to issue a revision, it felt more like damage control than clarity. But somehow, even amid this confusion, Catherine remains untouched. People trust her, they see her effort, and they believe in her intent. That trust is what Meghan can't buy, no matter how many PR firms or magazine covers she tries to line up, because once you lose public goodwill, every attempt to reclaim it just looks like performance. And that's where Meghan now finds herself, acting in a role no one's clapping for. Harry looks like a man trapped in a play he no longer believes in. Whether he's reading stiffly from a teleprompter in German or mumbling through a flat, uninspired speech about tourism, his energy is drained. The once fiery royal rebel now moves like someone who's just trying to meet contractual obligations. No fire, no fight, just empty rhetoric. And the irony is, this isn't some random PR gig. Travaist was his passion project. He launched it with big dreams of changing how the world travels. But now, even that sounds like a script he's reciting just to get through the day. His appearance at the tourism summit felt more like a hostage video than a keynote. He shuffled his feet, kept looking down, and his voice barely rose above a dull hum. If this is the same guy who once stormed the global stage with unfiltered opinions and explosive interviews, he's long gone. The crowd wasn't moved, the media barely covered it, and the silence spoke volumes. You don't need body language experts to decode this one. Harry is checked out, and the only reason he's still showing up is likely because the money demands it. And that's the tragic twist. For all their talk about liberation and finding freedom, Harry and Meghan seem more shackled than ever, just by different masters. No longer tied to the monarchy, they now serve the whims of brand deals, streaming platforms, and soulless optics. Meghan tries to build an empire with a recycled blend of faux authenticity and overpriced lifestyle products. Harry leans into forced global causes with speeches that could put even the most loyal fans to sleep. And neither effort seems to be working. What's worse is the emotional drift. In the early days of Megxit, there was a sense that they were at least united in their rebellion. Now they look like two people on completely different planets. Meghan is in her element, obsessing over branding, planting glossy stories, and crafting her image with the help of stylists and spin doctors. Meanwhile, Harry drifts, awkward in public, distant in interviews, and more often than not, visibly unhappy. At times, he looks like he doesn't even recognize the world he chose. And behind the scenes, the fallout continues. Staff turnover in their camp has become a pattern, not an exception. PR teams come and go, trusted allies vanish, even their supposed dream team for archetypes, and the Netflix deal unraveled faster than anyone expected. There's a rotating door of consultants and strategists, but none of it has delivered the stability or success they were banking on. Instead of building momentum, everything they touch seems to backfire. The worst part? Their kids are growing up in this chaos. Archie and Lily are largely hidden from the world, not because of some profound commitment to privacy, but because their parents are constantly fighting to fix their image. The children are growing up isolated in Montecito, detached from both their royal lineage and any meaningful support system. The only glimpses we get are carefully curated, rarely candid, and always suspiciously timed around a PR need. And as for the future, it's bleak. Meghan's efforts to relaunch her brand were supposed to be the comeback, a new wave, a fresh start. But now, with Even People magazine subtly pivoting toward Team Catherine, it's clear the tide is no longer in her favor. Public sympathy has eroded, the audience is tired, and unless something radically changes, the Sussex story is looking less like a revolution and more like a cautionary tale about what happens when ambition outruns authenticity. The tea.